good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, this is a video in the continuing expat profile series. So first of all, I just want to say again, thanks for tuning in. If you find this content useful, do us a favor, take a moment right now, give us a like, give us a share. I'm here with a doctor who I'll introduce momentarily. And so we're going to try to give a lot of good information today. If you have questions, throw them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Help us, grow the channel. So I'm here today with Dr. Asraf Saber. He has a very interesting story, which we will touch on momentarily. He's a surgeon, general practitioner, obviously an MD, has some really interesting philosophies as well, sort of practices some alternative medicine also, which he incorporates into his practice, and so we'll talk about that today. Originally from Egypt, is that correct? Yes. I'm learning along with you guys. Originally from Egypt and has been practicing medicine here in the Loja, Vilcabamba area for some time. So we're going to discuss today his story, how he got here, his experiences here in Ecuador, and try to give you guys a picture from a medical perspective of life here in Ecuador. So thank you so much for...
Thank you for inviting me to have a chance with you with this interview and to have a chance to speak to our friends expats. My name is Asraf Saber. I'm a surgeon and my subspecialty is surgical oncologist. I have been graduated in Egypt with MD PhD degree in surgical oncology, and I have been here since 5 years in Ecuador.
5 years?
Yes. I like this country because it's a small country and the people are very friendly. They are accepting the foreign people, expats. They are so helpful to them also, especially for the newcomers. They are helping them to find their properties, to facilitate having the services to them. So we like this country so much. That's why we have been here, me and my wife, for over 5 years. Mm-hmm. And then I decided to have a private office. By the way, I'm working in the Cancer Institute in Loja. Mm-hmm. After for 4 years, I'm working there in the Cancer Institute, and then I prepared myself to have my private office in Vilcabamba, especially in Vilcabamba, for 2 reasons. The main reason is Vilcabamba is a quiet town. It's the people are more friendly, and the climate is more or less stable. It's not changing frequently like other cities, and plus we have a big community of expats. So I decided to have my office in Vilcabamba, and also Vilcabamba it's lacking of medical services as a specialists. Yeah. But we have a governmental hospital here, but this town is lacking of a lot of specialists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. So let's go back a moment. Did you come here directly from Egypt?
Yes, we did, but we did a lot of search. Mm-hmm. We prefer to be in one of Latin America countries, but we choose already Ecuador because of it's a small country, like for example like Panama, like Costa Rica, but it's easier to be in Ecuador for so many things. At first, it has the currency, the official currency is American dollars.
Sure.
And this is one thing. The second thing is Spanish language was not a big deal for us because I told you before that we are speaking different languages. So Spanish language was not a very big problem for us. So we studied Spanish language within a short time, and with practices we are speaking good Spanish. Plus, the climate in the whole country is more or less stable. It's not too hot and humid like in Panama and Costa Rica, and there is no big like political conflicts. The country is stable politically, socially, economically. It's very stable, and the people again, they are very friendly. So we prefer to be in Ecuador, and I would like to explain to our friends also our experience why we choose Ecuador.
Yeah.
And we have a personal experience about Ecuador because my wife was a diplomat, and she worked in her embassy in Cairo, and we got together with a lot of diplomatic delegations in Cairo, and we got with the embassy of Ecuador, and we found them, the whole delegation. They are very kindly, and they helped us so much without a complicated routine procedures to come Ecuador, and they invited us to visit the country before deciding to immigrate to Ecuador. That's why we visited Ecuador before decision of immigration. We visited Ecuador for 1 month, and we went to the main three cities in Ecuador: Quito, Cuenca, and Guayaquil, the three main cities, and then comes Loja. But we prefer, we found the country as we imagined, and as they gave us a big idea or good idea about the country from the Ecuadorian embassy in Cairo, and we found it real. That's why after visiting Ecuador, we came by the end of the year with a decision to immigrate to Ecuador. We didn't face any problem to have our registrations of our academic titles in the Supreme Council of Science and Technology in Ecuador, and we didn't find any problems with the official procedures to have a residence, to have our ID cards or our insurance, whether official governmental medical insurance or private ones. It's easy, a very easy procedure to have these all things. Also, it's very easy to have properties in Ecuador in very easy way without any complications of procedures with the government. No, we fell in love in Ecuador. Yes, really, it's a very nice country.
And were you, it sounds like obviously you had a lot of reasons to be interested in moving to Ecuador, but was your original motivation because there were things going on in Egypt you wanted to get away from, or were you just specifically wanting to move to somewhere in Latin America?
Frankly speaking, we don't have any political or social or economic problem in my country, but me and my wife, it was a personal decision to change, because after you know that Egypt is a big country with a very big population and overcrowded country, especially the capital, because we used to live in Cairo. Cairo, it has from 25 to 30 millions inhabitants. Wow. Yes, in especially in Cairo. So we prefer to live in small, quiet country.
Sure.
And we were interested and still interested in the, especially my wife, she's very interested in the Latin culture and the let's say the Red Indian cultures and civilizations. She's very interested, and me too, I was interested, but she's more than me because I'm so busy with medicine. You know, medicine is very complicated issue. That's why it takes a lot of or majority of my time. That's why she has a little bit enough time to read about, and she's very interested in the ancient Indian civilization and the modern Latin civilization also. So no, we didn't have any problem in my country, in Egypt. Even so, my wife is from the old Soviet Union. She's from Kazakhstan, and also she doesn't have any problem, or she didn't have any problem in her country. No, it was a personal option to shift to a more quiet country and a stable atmosphere, because Egypt is very hot in summer, over 40s, and Kazakhstan is very cold in winter, below 30 centigrades, below 0 centigrades. So no, it's a great difference in the atmosphere and the climate. So we prefer to live in small, quiet country with more or less a stable climate.
Yeah, being close to the equator here, of course.
Oh, for sure. So
you came here. You checked out. Originally, you visited. You checked out Cuenca, Guayaquil, Quito.
Yes.
And then, what made you or did you go right to Loja when you came back, or what made you choose the Loja Vilcabamba?
Yes, it's a very good question. I thank you about that. When we came for the first time to visit Ecuador as a general, we visited the main 3 countries, and we used to live in Cuenca for 1 year.
Okay. So first you settled there.
And we didn't like to live. We didn't prefer to live in Quito, because Quito again is a capital, and it's crowded and noisy. And Guayaquil is too hot, too humid. So again, we don't prefer for the climate. So we prefer to live in Cuenca. Cuenca it has a stable climate, more or less. It's a little bit cooler than Loja, but we like the design of houses. So we lived there for 1 year, and once I got the chance, I worked there privately in Cuenca. But once I got the chance to join the Cancer Institute in Loja, I got the invitation and a work contract to work in Cancer Institute in Loja. So we shifted directly to Loja, and again we fall in love with Loja as a city. We found it's not cool like Cuenca. It's not always rainy. Right. The climate is more or less stable than Cuenca, so we preferred Loja than Cuenca.
Yeah. Okay, so you got a position at the Cancer Institute in Loja. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still there.
Okay.
I'm still there.
And you've been there 4 years.
4 years. Yes.
Okay. And what have been your experiences shifting a little bit into the medical world? You probably don't have experience practicing, of course, in the U.S. I don't know much about Egypt, the system there. But in the U.S., we have the FDA, we have the MMA. It's very, very regulated. There's a very small bandwidth that medical professionals can operate within, and that people's insurance works, and that they can, doctors can make a living that way. What have been your experiences in Ecuador dealing with the bureaucracy as it relates to the medical profession?
I cannot say it is a bureaucracy, but it is a regulated procedures. For example, for cold cases, the person or the patient who has a governmental insurance, he has to go through some official steps, and it doesn't take a lot of time. He has to visit a general practitioner, and that general practitioner will do like a transfer to the specialist, and the specialist will check the patient, and if the patient needs a hospital admission or more sophisticated investigations or workup, he will shift the patient to a governmental hospital, and if the government or district hospital, and if the patient case is more complicated and needs a lot of interference or more sophisticated investigations and workup, either the Ministry of Health hospitals or the governmental insurance hospital will shape the patient to Quito with referral hospitals, big referral hospital, a larger hospital. No, but I'm speaking about the cold cases, but with the emergency, no, the emergency, we have a different policy. At once, even the patient has a governmental insurance or without a governmental insurance, he would go to the hospital, Ministry of Health or insurance hospital, and this hospital will shift him even by plane evacuation, with helicopter evacuation, if his case is very urgent, to a big referral hospital in Quito. No, either with the cold cases or the emergency cases, we don't face any bureaucracy at all. It's easy to have the medical services. So I advise any newcomers to join the governmental insurance once they have the Ecuadorian cedula, because it's very beneficial, and it works a lot against very few fees monthly, very few fees, and it covers everything from the needle to the open heart. So I prefer any newcomers to join as soon as they have the Ecuadorian cedula, and it's not a big deal to have the Ecuadorian cedula. Once he has the Ecuadorian cedula, as recently or at ease to have an insurance coverage, governmental, I mean, or private one, both of them, it's very easy to have the insurance coverage in Ecuador.
Okay, and so as a surgeon, I assume you're getting a lot of those sort of emergency cases or those cases that need operations and things like that. But you also, Kasha was mentioning that you also do things like intravenous vitamin C and other sort of semi-alternative type treatments. Talk a little bit about...
for a personal experience, I prefer to use alternative medicine more than the orthodox medications. I prefer. That's why in my office in Vilcabamba and with all my patients, even with cancer patients, I'm using alternative medicine like mega doses or big doses of vitamin C. I'm using also hydrogen peroxide intravenous with food grade concentration, not regular hydrogen peroxide found in pharmacies for the any wounds, cleaning wounds. No, it's different, completely different. It's a food grade preparation and used orally and intravenously. So I used to use this hydrogen peroxide intravenously for a lot of hundreds of indications for my patients, starting from chest problem or smokers, chronic lung diseases, anti-aging, up to cancer treatment also. So hydrogen peroxide is useful in so many indications. I'm using also PRP in treating, I mean to explain more for our friends expats, it's plasma-rich platelets, PRP, plasma protocols. I'm using plasma treatment for treating of any joint problems or tendon problems or backbone problems. Even so, if there is a superficial accessible tumor, we inject it also with plasma. So plasma preparation, it has also a lot of hundreds of indications, and I'm using these procedures in my office also.
Have you ever crossed over into the world of stem cells and things like that?
I'm preparing to have the stem cells in my office, but it needs a more sophisticated center. I'm preparing for that, to have a stem cell plus PRP preparation. So this is my new project. I don't mean it's a business. No, this is my new project to help a lot of people suffering from joints problems or tendons problems. So I'm preparing myself and the place to have the stem cells procedures for my patients also. Yes, you are right.
And in getting in when you want to administer these treatments, sorry to go back to this question. It's just it's very much a topic of concern in places like the U.S. and I think in Europe and lots of places as well. Stem cells, for example, is only somewhat legal in the U.S. and very not used much, and plasma is insanely expensive, almost prohibitively expensive in some cases. But to get permission or to get authorized for these kinds of treatments, was it a difficult process or is it pretty?
In Ecuador, we have few centers of plasma cells, so it's approved. But about the prices in comparison to Europe and the States and Canada, no, there is no comparison between the prices in Ecuador and in either in the States, Canada or Europe. The prices here is very low, very low in comparison to other countries. Even in Asian or East countries, which are using these procedures, like in Thailand, in Turkey, in Thailand. No, it has no
it's much
comparison.
More expensive.
They're much more expensive for sure.
Have you experienced much sort of like medical tourism here? Is that something that is happening?
Yes. It's not too much, or this idea. It's not thoroughly investigated by medical centers. That's why I would like to make use of this idea to have a medical tourism for people who are suffering from the routine medical procedures in their countries, like in England or in Canada. The patient has to wait for a long time, up to years, to have. I'm not speaking about emergency cases. No, I'm speaking about cold cases. The patient has to wait over years, maybe 1, 2, 3 years to have his operation. So why not to make use of these things to help patient to get more healthy and rapidly with less expenses?
Sure.
That's why I'm planning to do the medical tourism also in Ecuador through my friends, like Kasia, like my wife. So we are preparing for this also project.
Yeah.
Maybe the patient doesn't need the surgery, but he might need some alternative medicine and specific diets or protocol of food. He might stay with me under my complete medical supervision over, it depends on his case, over weeks or few months, to stay with me under my complete medical supervision, and he might get some medical excursion, or touristic excursion,
Sure.
to see the nature, which is amazing, very amazing. We are lucky to have very nice, amazing nature. So the patient who will come, he will enjoy the medical supervision, medical care, plus he will enjoy the nature with us. So this is also another dimension of my work I'm planning for.
Yeah, and the price difference compared to at least
Completely
the US
different.
that I'm used to is massive. Just to give people an idea, if I want to make an appointment with you and come see you next week or whatever, what are the costs associated with my first visit, let's say? Just to give people a comparison.
I cannot decide a fixed figure or price because it depends on the case and what he needs. He might need a surgery or not. If he needs a surgery, how long for like recovery period, and if he doesn't need a surgery, maybe his treatment might take a short time or long time. So it depends, but generally speaking, in comparison to other countries, we are the cheapest country. We offer our services.
Sure. Okay, so moving off of medicine a little bit, so you're now in between Loja and Vilcabamba.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the comparison between your experiences in Loja versus Vilcabamba. I know you mentioned correctly, of course, that Vilcabamba is a little warmer. Obviously, it's a very small town. Loja is about a 250,000-person city. But talk a little bit about those two places and what your experiences have been.
Loja is a city. It's considered as the fourth city to Ecuador, okay? The fourth famous city, because there are a lot of cities in Ecuador, because we have a lot of provinces in Ecuador, although it is a small country, but it's divided into around 24 provinces, but each province, it has its own climate. It depends whether it is on the coast or on the mountains or the east part with the forests, but Loja considered as the fourth famous city in Ecuador. It's not overcrowded, but the people, in comparison to Vilcabamba, the people are more civilized because it's a city.
Sure.
It has a lot of restaurants. It has a lot of festivals also, in the carnivals. It's a city, but Vilcabamba, it's a town, so you can see the difference between a town and a city. The community of expats are more in Vilcabamba, although it's a town, but the community of expats are more in Vilcabamba than in Loja. Because in comparison to Loja, the climate, it might be rainy for whole the day or for 2 days. Vilcabamba is not. The climate is more or less stable than Loja. Also, Vilcabamba is we cannot say more or warmer than Loja. No, it's near, but the climate is stable. Than we can say that the difference, the temperature gradients is around 1 to 2 centigrade temperature, the difference. But the climate here is more stable. The people are more quiet, more friendly than in Loja, but both the people are friendly. But in comparison, I'm just making a relation between, but actually it's not a fair comparison, but It's a town and city.
Yeah.
We're making a comparison between city and town. And plus, in Vilcabamba, we are making use of natural products. I mean organic products. We have in Vilcabamba more organic products. You can get your vegetables, fruits, meats directly from the farm. And the majority of farmers here are not, let's say the majority, unless 100%. But to be honest, let's say the majority of farmers here are not using fertilizers or pesticides or something. So it's easy to have your vegetable products or fruit products or even meat products, meat or chicken or milk, pure honey, mountain honey, which is the best honey in the world, to have a mountain honey. And the people here, because we have all the year round, we have flowers, trees, evergreen, so the people are producing pure honey, not like manufactured one or with additions. And the honey is extracted from fruits, organic flowers of the fruits, without using any pesticides or fertilizers. So we are happy. Actually, we are living in a small paradise.
Yeah.
It's very nice. We are lucky, really.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. Are there things you miss from home? Are there things, food, or are there things that you maybe you can't find here, or things you miss about Egypt, about your life back?
No. It's a big. There is a great difference between food in Egypt and here. Here is more natural, more organic, and with less population. So the people here, they don't want to have a mass production for a high population. So they are not obliged to use fertilizers or pesticides or to have mass production, because we are enjoying with less population. But in Egypt, no. Egypt, the majority of the territory is a desert, and it's not a good media for so many products. So plus high population. So in Egypt we need a mass production to feed a high population, but here we are not obliged to have a mass production. So it's easy, very easy, to have natural organic products here. No, completely. We are living in a small paradise.
And how do you feel about safety?
It's very excellent. I thank you about this. There is no place with 100% safety. Okay, but we didn't find. Rarely we could hear about unsafety events takes place. Rarely here. So the life here is almost always very safe. We leave our cars in the streets, not in garage. You can go in late night also on the street, walking on the street, or in the early morning. You can walk, you can run, you can do your exercise at ease, at complete safe conditions. Safety here is very available. We hardly hearing about unusual events take place. No, safety here is it's available, very available, and the police here is very strong, and the police comes in few seconds, solving the problem, whether it is like a conflict between two persons for personal things, or for a car accident, crash between two cars, or any car traffic accident, the police or traffic they came in few seconds, try to solve the problem. If there is an injured person, he will be transferred in few seconds to the nearest hospital with full medical coverage. No, we don't have any problem with safety here at all.
And what have your experiences been like with the culture, sort of being a foreigner? Obviously you're immersed in the culture here. Do you feel accepted? Do you feel like there's animosity? What has been your experience?
Really speaking, I came from a different culture. My wife also came from a different culture, but we found people here are too near to us in the behaviors, the type of food, it's also near. So we didn't find any problems as a foreigner in the culture. Also, no, it's not very strange to us. It's not strange to us, and we didn't find any problems in the food or in the social behavior. But on the opposite, we have a good relations with Ecuadorian families in every city we live in. So we have a good relations with Ecuadorian local families. They are very welcome families, people, and they are very helpful. No, we didn't find any change in culture at all. And whole people here are busy with their work, because people here are used to work from 7 to 5 p.m. At the end of the day, everyone likes to run with 1 or 2 hours break during the day, to have a lunch with his family at home. So we live in a familiar life. At the end of the day, working day, the person or the employee prefers to go home to enjoy the rest of the day with his family. That's why we are enjoying likely full safety. Everybody is busy with his work, with his business, with his family, with his social life. And in weekends, the people prefer to go outdoors to enjoy the nature with their families, with their kids, enjoying the nature's rivers, or family meetings. No, we didn't find any difference between the two cultures. No, we found here, or still finding here, good traditions, social, familiar traditions here in Ecuador. No, we didn't feel any problems with the different cultures. No, at all.
So that's for me, that's really a good place to leave it. But do you have anything that I left out that you want to touch on? Anything I missed? Any tips or advice?
For the more efficient procedures, if you would like to have a car or for example a driving license, it's not a big deal. It's either if you're gonna live for a short time, you can use your international driving license, or you can have your Ecuadorian driving license through busing. Very few, not complicated procedures. It's easy after some few examinations. So it's easy to have Ecuadorian driving license if you will be a permanent resident. For banking also, you can easily make a transfer between American banks and Ecuadorian banks, because it's the same currency.
Right.
There are no complicated procedures. The transfer is easy. There is no limit for the transfer, and no problems at all with the official procedures in banking. Everything is easy. You can get it at ease, and plus you can enjoy the life, the nature, and the medical service. Everything is available here.
Thank you so much for taking
You
the
are
time
welcome,
today.
Jesse, and I hope to see you also for more several times to explain to our friends expats what's going on in Ecuador, to encourage them to join our paradise.
Absolutely. Again, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you enjoyed the video, again, give us a like, share the video, please. If you have questions, put them in the comments. I'm going to put the doctor's contact info as well below.
It's
So if you
my
need to get in
pleasure.
touch with him, you know, to make an appointment or to chat, you can obviously do that. And thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much, Asa.